rapping for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
Our last podcast went freaking long, so we had to break it into episode number 2 of you and your life story. Has just been so crazy to share. And I'm excited to get into this next version of yourself that we're gonna get into.
Hey, likewise.
And just go ahead and just leave off where we started.
Back to the suicide thing. So yeah, dude, I found this empty soda can that was in my floor, and it's kind of hard to say this stuff. And I was like, I don't know where I got this from, but I was like, if I bend that can, so I took the can and like squeezed it in the middle, and then like
Made it sharp.
I went like this until it had creases, like holes on both sides, and I ripped it in half. And I've always been a very vascular person, and it was on this hand, and I just took one of the sharp sides and just started just sawing on my hand. Dude, it hurt. It burnt bad. Like it was like a
burn.
Very intense burning sensation.
I feel it in my hand right now.
And I'm just like sawing and like dude, I literally thought in that moment, I was like, I'm going to kill myself. That's like on everything I love, it was not an attention-seeking thing. It was like, in my head, that right there were my last moments, and I was going to bleed out because I was so tired of feeling how I felt. So
at such a young age, dude.
So I was just sawing away, and like and I would hear like, cause there were people, and like my grandma was in there, and like I would hear like get up and walk around or something, and I would stop for a second, and I'm like, cause I'm like, my heart's racing, bro. Mm-hmm. My heart's racing, and like I'm trying to keep my breath. And I would hear things get quiet, and I would go again. I ended up doing it like 5 different times, and I mean, thank God, dude, I was unsuccessful. But yeah, dude, I really like full blown was trying to take myself out at 11 years old. It's unbelievable. And so whenever I was at school, the next few days or whatever, I got called into the counselor's office. They're like, her name was Miss Williams. I didn't like her. She didn't like me either.
Shout out to Miss Williams.
She was like, Micah, basically, we notice your hands and, what's going on with your hand. You got cuts all over the top of your hand. And I played it off. I just said something like I was playing with my neighbor's knife and didn't realize how sharp it was. And I bumped up, some bullshit lie. And she let me go back to class. They didn't press the issue. And not in the moment did this bother me. But there came a point in the near future after that it bothered me, and my grandma never mentioned anything to me about it. So you have a kid. You have this kid that you're kind of concerned because there are cuts on their hand. Like you called him in the office. Clearly something's going on. His grandpa just died, and his family life isn't all that. His home life isn't all that well. I'm sure they called her and told her. You know what I mean? I never had this conversation with her, but I'm sure they called her and told her. And, I had eventually realized, like, either they didn't care or she didn't care. And, all these things combine, the being, less fortunate, not third world country poor, but less fortunate, being the only black kid, being the dingy, smelly kid, being the kid with the bad grades, being the kid that always got in trouble, being the kid that, felt so bad that, he tried to kill himself. And then when he tried to kill himself, nobody fucking cared.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So from early on, dude, I didn't feel worthy of anything. And I didn't realize that at the time. But that's what it all came down to, is like, I didn't feel worthy. And dude, there's so much more, after the age of 13 that like people, a lot of unbelievable things happen, but like I really want to highlight the first 13 years of my life, and just like that is why I'm building this business, and it's to help develop the youth, help develop kids that don't have a positive influence, help develop kids that feel like they have no hope, that they're never going to get out of the environment that they're in, that they're never going to be worth anything in life, that they're never going to be anything more than their low down dirty dad, or they're never gonna be,
the ones that feel they're just not worth anything.
100%, bro. And I just
you're gonna be successful. You know why? Because you know what your why is, and everything you just said, being a dingy kid, being a smelly kid, no one caring about you, not feeling love, like you're going to be able to impact those people because you're going to be able to share that story, right? And they're going to not feel
that's why I went
so insecure for being smelly because it's not their fault. It's, you know what I mean? There's comes a point where it is their fault.
But as a
as
kid,
a
bro,
kid,
like,
it's not your fault.
yeah.
Like, you are pure. As a kid, kids are pure.
Bro, my favorite thing.
We are sponges.
I used to go stay the night with my aunt and uncle, which later on, you know, after this whole suicide incident, I actually ended up, they took custody of me. Because, dude, actually, it got to a point, my effort in school was so bad after my grandpa died in this suicide situation. I had all Fs in every single class. And like, I'm talking Fs like.
You just didn't care.
Mid 20%. Like,
you
I
hit
don't.
your rock bottom at 11 years old.
Yeah, bro.
And the crazy thing is, like, you make me feel like a punk because you hit your rock bottom because of literally upbringing. Like, you had no choice of your lifestyle and how you grew up.
No.
I hit my rock bottom because poor life's decisions. So now you made me feel like, and that's when there's always someone that has it worse, right? Didn't we literally just talk about in the beginning of the podcast?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm over here thinking, obviously my version of rock bottom is difficult because it's my version. But then I
Well,
hear your
we
story,
can't
I'm like,
compare.
well, what do I got to complain about? I had a great
Yeah.
family, a loving mom, a loving, you had a loving grandpa, but I lost my grandpa 4 years ago. You lost your grandpa at age 11. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's always going to be someone that has it worse.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I mean?
we can't. This is another thing that I think people. Well, I know people don't think about. Like, it sounds crazy, but we can't compare struggles, and it's because of this. In the psyche, say an adult, and it's a well-established adult, loses their job, that can be just as stressful to them as a child in school getting an F on homework.
Yep.
They could be equally as stressed.
Yeah, the two different
know what I
people.
mean?
Well, no, because the same thing is like you say you're busy. I say I'm busy. You tell me what you do in a day. I laugh and say I wish I had that day. I tell you what I do in a day. You're like, oh, wow, that sounds like an easy day. But in my day, it's the busiest goddamn day in the world. In your day, it's the busiest goddamn in the world. We're the two. We're both human beings. We both have 24 hours in a day. But we are 100% right, right? Because you feel they're busy, just like you feel that you gave your whatever gym session 100%. I can't fight you that 100% because my 100% might be different or no be the same or might be less, but it's still my version of 100%. So you make a lot of sense by saying that you can't really compare upbringing.
Yeah, you can't.
You know what I mean? Because that hurt the same.
Yeah.
Right. It's still
100%.
we were still in the same exact amount of pain as if I was in your shoes or you were in my shoes.
Yeah.
It would still been the same. So it makes sense about not comparing.
Yeah,
They're equally as important. But now as an adult, I'm listening to your upbringing and I'm like, what the heck do I have a complaint about? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But as an adult, but I get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
It was the feelings are equal.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that's why, you know, specifically the first 13 years, you know, is why I'm going the route in life that I'm going.
And break that down for them.
So
Break that down. Let them know. So
I went
so
on a
we
great, you know, I did after, you know, from age 16 to like 23, 24, 16 and 24, I was just running crazy, bro, just partying all the time, drinking a lot. Like I'm talking.
You said that you mentioned that you
I'm talking like knocking down fists of vodka by myself, getting blackout drunk.
Same.
Fighting.
Same.
You know,
Bro,
having.
I want to get someone from high school that knew. You would hear stories, you'd be like, "That's not my boy." Anthony.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about myself too, bro. Yeah.
We were talking about that. We were
Uh-huh.
talking about that. We're like, like I'm gonna get some of my podcasts soon that knew me in high school.
Yeah.
And like so like you know that like these I was an unhappy person. Even though I looked so happy and drinking, partying, cool truck, bro, I wasn't happy. I was so mean. I didn't even have a reason to be so mad. You know what I mean? I had a great lifestyle. Like I was just mad just because of my weight. I mean, that's so crazy.
Yeah, one the root can. I mean, it's a root. So a root grows into or a seed grows into a tree, and like the seed is the core issue. You know what I mean? And then the tree is all the other issues that come from.
Branches out into everything. I like that, man.
100%. Yeah. So my aunt and uncle had taken custody of me, and I'm saying all this not to only share my story and let people know, you know, that there are people out there that can relate. But also, I'm telling you about these positives that I'm pulling. So like 1 to 13, this is the main reason I want to impact the youth, like I explained. So now, my aunt and uncle take custody of me at 13 years old. It was almost exactly a month after I turned 13. My birthday's on January 19th. They took custody of me in February. It was either 14th or 18th. So, yeah, I move in, and it was to get Micah back on track. that was the whole goal.
To reel you back in.
To get Micah back. He's doing terrible in school. We know he's messed up. They didn't like my grandma either. They knew I had it kind of rough there. So it's to get Micah back on track. Before I even moved in with my aunt and uncle, before they even took custody, my uncle would come over after work, dude. He would put in like 12-hour work day. He had kids, you know. He had a wife, my aunt, and he would help me with my language homework. He did that for several weeks, bro. Like my aunt and uncle showed me unconditional love, bro.
Do you notice how I'm gonna call something out right now, and I hope everyone caught that. How your whole demeanor just changed as you started talking about the positive in your life. Yeah. You were so angry. Not like you weren't speaking.
Just
you
aggressive.
Were aggressive. You were really aggressive. And now you're kind of talking about the positive in your life. Mm-hmm. And now you completely just chilled out, and you're just saying like how you seem really grateful. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I love them dearly.
It just goes to show the negativity and positivity, how it will change your brain in a second. Like we're talking. Yeah. We're on a podcast. They're listening. Everyone out there that called it out, they might rewind that last 20, 30 seconds, and then we go to this part, and you completely monotone, really sound like grateful of that. Because you're never going to forget that. You're never going to forget the person that was there for you.
No, he would come over there because he knew what I was going through. And then, so they took custody of me, and I started getting, I get back on track a little bit. It was a struggle. But, I started getting back on track, and yeah, man, they took care of me, bro. They took care of me. I remember I went shopping the first day I was there. They took me shopping and got me all clothes and shoes and whatever school supplies and.
Boy, it was looking fresh,
dude. Yeah.
Did it smell anymore?
No, bro. And when I was younger, when I would stay with my grandparents, my favorite part because my cousin, I would go stay the night with him, and my favorite part about going to my aunt and uncle to stay with my cousin was they would do my laundry, bro. I own everything. They would do my laundry, and I loved the way.
And as a kid, you're so happy that someone would do your laundry. And you're a kid, like I didn't start doing laundry until I was like late teens. You know what I mean? Like, and to me, like, you were so happy at a young age for someone to do your. Yeah. Do you think it's just because like it was like the affection that like they love you enough to help you out? Like they took a stress off your shoulder because they let you be a kid.
I think that played a part. I think that definitely played a part, and yeah, dude, they would do my laundry, and like when it would get done, like I would just whatever me and my cousin were doing, I would just like my aunt would tell me like, hey, you just fold your clothes, and I would just smell them. I love the smell. I would tell her like
I love smell clean laundry.
I say, Aunt Sarah, I love how your laundry detergent smells, and but anyway, bro, so. Yes, years go on, they get me into, playing basketball, and, they encourage me to do this and do these things, they loved me unconditionally, bro. And there were things, that I did my teenage years that like were just, very inconsiderate, very selfish. They loved me unconditionally, bro. And
everyone deserves that.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves, especially at their young ages. I feel like
absolutely,
everyone deserves that.
Yeah, because, kids, none of us really asked to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I tell my mom all the time, because like, I'm a grown-ass kid, honestly. I literally, like, a couple months ago, me and my little brother took my mom to Target so my mom could buy me a PS5.
Really?
I'm a big kid. I'm 100% big kid.
You'll never forget those moments,
bro. No. And I could afford it. I could afford it. Yeah. I could afford a PS5. But it's like, that's my mom, right? Yeah. And she'd be like, I had you, like, you're supposed to take care of me. I was like, I did not ask to be born.
I didn't ask to be
You decided to be a little young and wild, reckless 18-year-old person in high school, all right, and boom, you're blessed
Guilt
with
trip.
Give
me this PS5 now.
Give me. So that's funny, but yeah, man.
Yeah, man, and I just can't say it enough, bro. They gave me unconditional love, and I'm very blessed. They helped me get back on track, and I put myself off track by, getting into partying and doing drugs as a teenager. And when I was 21, they went on vacation to Disney World, and they were leaving Disney World. It was my aunt, my uncle, and their daughters, my 2 little cousins. And they were going to Daytona Beach. My uncle always wanted to go to Daytona Beach. It was like his, for some reason, he just always wanted to go there.
Dream vacation.
Yeah, dude. So they were leaving, and they got a car bumped into them on the highway, and they swerved out of control and hit a tree, and they both died in that accident. My aunt or my little cousins, they were in the ICU at Arnold Palmer in Orlando, Florida, for a couple weeks. They both had broken femurs.
No.
One of them had some brain damage, and yeah.
Bro, this story just took a turn. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, bro. I was at home, and my aunt actually asked me last minute if I wanted to go, but I wasn't very like family oriented. You know, I wanted to hang out with my friends, and I was working too. So the day she asked me and they were leaving, I was on my way. I was getting ready for work, and the day, like literally it had to be minutes before they got in the accident. She actually texted me to let the dogs out. And dude, it's crazy because I seen the text, but I was just laying in bed. And I was just kind of annoyed that she had texted me to let the dogs, because I knew, because I'm like, I already know to let the dogs out. You know,
you're at that age where you know everything. Like, don't, how dare you tell me? Like,
yeah.
Little did you know that was going to be the last text you received.
I had no idea, dude. I had no fucking idea.
I've not heard this before.
Most people haven't, bro. Most people haven't.
Like that threw me for like a big loop. Like I was thinking, this is gonna be the rest of the positive conversation? Like,
no, bro.
You know what I mean? Like
this is my story, bro. You know what I mean?
Your roller coaster lifestyle.
100%. And there's a whole reason, you know, why I'm giving all these details. But yeah, dude. One day I woke up. My aunt had texted me. She was like, you know, don't forget to let the dogs out. And I get up, obviously, you know, let the dogs out. I go to the gym. I come back, and I had no idea. Obviously, bro, all this stuff was going on. I was working out and shit, and they were dying. And, you know, my little cousins were fighting for their lives in this car wreck. And so I just got done making my lunch. It was chicken breast, like chicken tenders, and green beans, whole green beans. I almost remember exactly what the meal tasted like, dude. It's weird. And I was sitting in the recliner watching TV. I got a weird feeling in my stomach, like just out of nowhere, get a weird feeling. I'm like, I want to call my grandma. Right, I go to grab my phone. My sister Samantha calls me, hysterical. Instantly, I'm in panic. Like, I'm not like physically panicking, but in my mind, I'm like, I fucking know this sound, and I know something is bad. Like when my sister sounds like this.
You've been there before.
Yeah, so she tells me, you know, she's like, Aunt Sarah and Uncle Greg got into a wreck, and she's just like, dude, she is like, can barely get words out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what happened? What happened? And she said they died. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, and then the girls, I'm like, what about the girls? She's like, they had to get air vac'd. They're in the hospital. I'm like, where are they at? She's like Orlando. So, within an hour, I had to go tell my uncle's brother. I had to go walk down because they live next door. My uncle's brother and his wife were standing in their garage, and I'm fighting to even get the words out because it's so surreal, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had to tell him, his brother died, and so, within an hour, the whole family is over. We got like 50 people at the house, and a bunch of us just got in cars and went down there because we had to take care of the girls.
Well, yeah, they were there.
Yeah.
I just like listening to this story right now. Like, I just don't. It sounds like a movie. You know what I mean? So it's like,
does.
Did you ever like sit back, or have you sat back and maybe before the new version of yourself, Micah, that you are today, which would never thought you went through all this. Let me just tell you, like, you were the most humble, nicest person, picking up trash off the ground, walking past houses that you envision you're going to own. Like, I could go on for days how a positive person you are. Did you ever, like, just hearing all this, like, did you just, like, ask yourself, like, why? Like, why me? Like, did you ever, like, second guess, like, the upper being or
that's
wherever
that victim
you
mentality I was telling you about, yeah. Happened a
to
lot,
me,
bro.
like, hearing your stuff, it doesn't even sound like a victim mentality. It just sounds like a logical question. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, if I were in just hearing it, like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, damn, like,
but for things like that to happen, it is a victim mentality, because for things like that to happen to other people, and I just happen to be involved, for me to be like, why me? Now I'm making it about me. And it's not about me. It's about life. It's about how life goes. It's about the cycle of life. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying about the victim mentality thing.
So that's your definition of victim mentality. You're taking someone else's actual problem and you're
making
turning
it your
about
own.
yourself.
And you're trying to make yourself the person that
Why
people
me?
should be
Oh,
patting on the back. And
everything's going on with my fault, but not really. Wow, man, like that's a hell of a mindset to have. That's a very very impactful last 10, 15 seconds of really how you just described a victim mentality, because that right there should have changed a lot of people's lives. But they should have that shit on repeat.
Yeah.
Right? The victim mentality is taking someone else's trauma and problems and their death and now turning it oh my gosh, me.
It's really easy to do that.
It's very, very easy to do that, right?
But like,
it's easy.
It just goes in, I'm God fearing, and I believe everything was planned out and everything like that. So, and I'm not gonna get into all that, but yeah, that's what I feel like a victim mentality is. So, dude, that knocked me off. I had family that I was able to stay with. It really messed me up that the girls didn't have parents, anymore, and I wasn't in a position to be able to take them in and care for them. That messed me up. That messed me up pretty bad, which was another reason, another thing that piled in my mind that made me want to get my stuff together. So then,
was that your rock bottom? I don't know if I could take any more of this story.
Right there, and then, dude, there's more, dude. But I'm not even gonna. So that point up until literally like 3 years ago. So from 21 to 20, right at 25, mid 25, is my rock bottom. My rock bottom, definitely. I was partying a lot. Was very, very angry. I was already into that, drugs, selling drugs.
Just
have
the whole
kinds of
fast
parties
lifestyle.
At 100%, bro. Like with no limits, bro. And I'd already been into that, but then that kind of
escalated to like double down on it.
Yeah, but there was saying all that, bro. I've had so many ups and downs. It feels like more downs, and it feels like my life has been a constant fucking fight. Like, if you could imagine two people in a ring fighting, and it felt like there was no fucking
end. It was a 27-year fight.
One round.
No one will go down. One round.
One round. There's no breaks. You know what I mean?
That is like giving you the fight of like the dog, bro. Like,
yeah.
Like that is like, and I feel like some of the most successful people, and I'm talking about successful people from the ground up. I'm not talking about successful people that are born into wealth and then continue to keep the wealth.
Mm-hmm.
I feel have stories like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
You
bro.
know what it is to not have. You know what it is to not have love. You know what it is to not have new clothes. You know what it is to not feel loved or feel appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why I know I can say what you're doing with your brand and your business is going to be successful, because you're going in there to help the old Micahs.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what you're doing this for. You're going in to help the old Micahs so they don't feel alone. They don't feel like they want to take their life at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And me and you share something a lot in common, especially when it's the younger generation. And my end goal is to go and speak to elementary schools and high schools and whoever will hear my story and let me talk about obesity and bullying and how I got over stuff, and you, my friend, by sharing this story, is going to be able to resonate with a lot of kids that they're too scared to talk about their household upbringing and how uncomfortable they are at home. I'm fortunate to not have to go through that, but just because I didn't go through that doesn't mean that there's not a lot of people there listening right now that have went through this, and this has really kind of brought up that emotion that they're not alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
there are a lot of people out there.
You've made it. You were in your own place. This is your place.
There are a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
I have, dude, just like you, I'm nowhere near where I want to be.
We're
like,
never,
dude,
we're never going to be there. We realize we're never
foot,
going to be there.
The foot is on the gas, bro. So I still, I still have more work to do, but like my entire reason for, bringing up all those things is, to throughout the story is like pull out the positives that I took from that. And the main thing is, bro, like, yes, I had family, I had a couple family members that I would be able to stay with. I never had anybody to give me just give me all this money so I could get my own place. Like, I literally had to fucking pull myself out of these fucking spots every single fucking time. And it's not like if I did have family that was like, here's $10,000, it wouldn't have pulled me out, bro. And not only would it have not pulled me out, but I wouldn't have learned the lessons and gotten the value from these things that seemed that were technically negative at surface level.
Why is that?
Why is what?
Why would you have taken it seriously if someone would have bailed you out?
Why wouldn't I have?
Yeah. I know what you're going to say, but I want them to hear that.
Well, I mean, it happened to me for a reason. Like, I had to get myself out of it. I had to gather the tools to get myself out of it.
Because it was up to who?
It was up to me, bro.
Exactly.
Always. That's the thing. And dude, at the end of the day, like,
it's you.
Somebody could have gave me if I'm that down bad and I'm going through that much, dealing with that much trauma, and somebody hands me $10,000 and says, "Hey, go get a place. Hey, get a new car. Hey, make sure your fridge is full." I would have done fucking got a place, dude.
And effed it off,
dude.
Because you didn't have skin in the game.
Who knows? I could have drank myself to death. I could have popped pills till I overdosed.
Because you didn't have to work for it. You didn't have to grind and drag 100%. Your knees and your chin and your face and your elbows through the mud to respect it. 100%. If it is given to you, you're never going to respect it. If weight loss is given to you, you're not going to respect it.
And there are people out there that are going to say, yes, I would appreciate it. You would appreciate it, but it's just like motivation. It only lasts for a little bit of time.
And that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
It lasts for a little bit of time. But when you fucking fight for your sanity and for the hope that you'll be just slightly fucking successful one day, when you fight for that for years, dude.
You could taste it.
Yeah.
You taste the fight. No, you realize it was up to you. Mm-hmm. No one was going to get this done. We're not talking weight loss. We are talking life. No one was going to get Micah up out of the mud, out of the trenches, pull you by your boxers to clean you off, give you a kiss on your forehead, and send you on your way.
No, because
you had to do it.
And the people who had done that before when I was younger, they were dead, bro. So there was absolutely nobody.
There was no lifeline. You had no lifeline. It was you. It was you versus you. The definition of you versus you. Yeah. And now, for the people that have been listening to this and understanding your story and how relatable you are with their story, what are you doing now? Not what your business is about to be doing. Who do you work with? Who are you friends with? Who are you surround yourself with now? Who is Micah now?
So before I answer that question, I want to add one more thing. I say that the people that would have pulled me out of the dark times, were dead. My grandpa, my aunt, my uncle. I'm not saying, like, I have a couple of family members that were there for me. Like I said, like, Micah, stay with me. You know what I mean? Stay with me and get on your feet. I'm not saying that only those three people were the only ones that ever cared about me. I'm not saying that by any means. So, I'm sure they're going to watch this. So who am I now? Well, dude, I'm way, way better of a person than I ever thought I would ever be, bro.
I would have never thought you went through any of this.
Ever. And just taking personal development serious. I started taking my personal development journey serious close to, I would say, between 3 and 4 years ago. And then I started working at First Form, and that really helped me dial in and really like get tunnel vision on personal development. When at an entry-level position there, there are training tiers, and personal development is a necessity. You have to personally develop. And so, dude, eventually, there came a point in time. I was a little skeptical about the environment for the first 8 weeks. Did
you think it was cheesy, corny? This is not for me.
Yeah, and I didn't think that
that unhappy mentality you had. That's how I was. I made fun of people like me and you.
Yeah.
When I was unhappy, breathing exercises, talk about your feelings. What a freaking loser.
Exactly.
Well, now I'm over here breathing exercises, talk about my feelings. I'm talking about my client's life. It's a daily thing. And, I've been here for 3 days. You do the same thing every single morning. You wake up, you throw your coffee on, You sit down, you put on your what's called sermon.
Sermon, yeah.
Sermon. Right, I'm sleeping. You got his sermon on. I'm I started listening to too. I even had you send me a podcast. Like you have structure in your life, right?
That's well, dude, without structure, your life is chaotic.
Say that again.
Without structure, your life is chaotic. And people might think, no, I just wake up and I wing it and I do good.
And that's why that's why your life is chaotic, because you wake up and you wing it. You don't have any type of structure in your day-to-day living. You wake up at a different time every single day. You wake up 10 minutes late. You wake up 10 minutes early. You wake up. Sometimes you don't wake up at all. Why? Because you don't have structure, because we're so worried about the fun stuff in life. We won't sit back for 2 years or 365 days and worry about our fucking future and what we set for ourselves and who we want to be. We will not take 365 days to double down on ourselves, but we'll take those 365 days to just become a complete pile of shit.
And it'll last for a lifetime if you don't catch yourself, bro.
We know what it does.
Yeah.
I knew what overeating did. I got me from 200 to 300, from 300 to 400, 400 to 500. I could keep going.
And you wanted
I know the answer of that. I knew the answer of overeating. You knew the answer of making bad decisions. But we still keep doing it. But we both have something in common. We got to our version of rock bottom. We realized it was up to us to dig us out of this hole. And if we didn't dig us out of this hole, then we will continue laying in a hole like a fucking pile of dog shit.
Yep. You would be just another statistic,
another
just
dog.
another average person.
We'll be another piece of dog shit in the park.
Yep, just repeating the cycle.
Repeat it. Getting stepped on.
You have
shit
kids.
on.
You have kids.
They become
You put them
dog
through
shit.
the same shit.
The same.
They
traumas.
have kids. It's gonna be. You know what I mean? So
my kid is not gonna be fat, and my kid is going to know the cost of $1. My kid is gonna know taxes. I've made the mistakes. Now my next heavy to modified junior, or Miss Heavy, whatever, male or female, whoever I have, boy or girl, right? I've already traveled through the trenches and went through the mud and made my mistakes. So I'm going to teach them everything so I can give them the cheat codes. Now it's up to them.
It's your obligation as a man.
As a human, as a father,
let me say that, woman. Every man out there, it is your obligation as a man to take these lessons you've learned and to teach other people. To teach the people under you, the people around you. When I say under, I'm talking about people younger than you.
All right, I wouldn't say men. I would say mom, because there's a lot of my mom's a single mom. You know what I mean? You don't like Ed Millette said today. Yeah. You don't need a woman does not need a man in her life to raise a man. Does that make sense? My mom, I didn't have my dad or my stepdad in my life. My real dad, I don't never had in my life. But my stepdad, who I never call my stepdad, I call him my dad, because a dad is someone that is going to take care of you. And he was someone that took care of me. But he didn't come until a little bit. He left for a little bit. You know what I mean? But with my mom didn't need a man in her life in order to raise a man. I am Anthony Lopez, and I feel that I am a man. I dug myself out of holes. I've made bad decisions. I've learned from them. You know what I mean? I've done stupid stuff. I've learned from them. I've built a lifestyle of unhealthiness and didn't care about myself and my body, and I learned from it. Right, and then I got to be there for her dad, which was my best friend, my grandpa, and I got to be with him until his very last breath. And then I started to become even more of a man, because I got uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I got uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So I think it'll be better just to generalize it and say that any mom or dad out there, male or female, that is raising someone, it is your obligation to teach them everything that you've learned, so they do not make the same mistakes you did, so they have the cheat codes in life. Now, if they choose not to take action to those, because you know when you're young and dumb, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you can't control that, but it's your obligation as they're little ones and they're growing to teach them how to be a proper lady, to teach them how to be a proper man, to teach them how to be a proper human being.
Yeah. And you're right. It is men and women. And while both men and women have lost their roles these days, I feel like I specifically pointed out to men because I'm just really irritated at the lack of masculinity.
Yeah, it bothers you.
It really does. Yeah. It irks me. Yeah. But at First Form and working on personal development. Like I said, I've been there a little bit over 2 years. I feel I've been on the steady incline. not anything like this, but it's been, some plateaus but steadily inclining. Just
What are the plateaus?
the plateaus are when you feel like you're burnt out.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say when you get comfortable.
Well, when you feel like you're burnt out, I feel like I haven't really gotten to a point where I've been comfortable there yet because of all the opportunity. And while I would consider myself a level of a high performer, there are people at higher levels of high performing there.
You're building your way there,
They're
though.
exceptional people.
You're building up though. Like, that's what you're doing, man. Like,
yeah.
And it's so crazy, and I don't think you give yourself enough credit. You didn't let your upbringing control who Micah is today. Have you ever noticed that?
Well, I did. I just pulled positives instead of.
Well, yeah, but you shouldn't have. Like, if you on paper, you should have failed.
Yeah.
On paper, you should be in jail.
Yeah.
On paper, you should be addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
On paper, you should be like a non-functioning human being to society.
100%.
But I'm in your place, on your couch, staying with you, going to a event, an athlete for a company who you work for, and you're friends with Andy Frisella. Like, have you ever looked back at your actual story and realized how much of a badass that you really are? Like, do you ever give yourself that credit?
No, because I feel there are moments when I'm like, dang, like Micah, I'm proud of you.
Your car has auto start.
Yeah.
Start your car from your phone. I think you made it.
Nah, like I have moments where I'm proud of myself, and I'm happy that I've made the good decisions and stacked good decisions to have a good outcome. But like I said, dude, where there's so much opportunity out there. Like, there's so much I can do, and like once again, there are a lot of people. I watched your podcast, and I don't remember what his name was. But he said, he talked about his upbringing, his dad being abusive to his mother and all these things. Like, bro, that hurt me when I listened to that. It just hurt me, bro. Like, and there are people like, and that goes into me saying, there are people that have been through what I feel are worse things, and they're reached higher levels of success. So for me to be like, yeah, I'm a badass. Like, nah, I'm a fucking killer. Nah, I'm telling you that right now. Like, when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it serious.
Because you know what it is not to have shit.
Yeah.
You know what it is not to be loved. You know what it is to not be supported. Like I said earlier, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean. And so you take life serious now.
Yeah.
You take life serious because you've had to fight 24 hours, 365 for 27 freaking years.
Yeah.
You've had to be a fighter.
Yeah.
You're a warrior.
I feel
you're I'm telling you right now, like, you are a warrior.
There's
bro.
no doubt. Yeah, I know that. There's no doubt about that, and that's not something I think about a lot. But to feel like I'm a badass and like just to no, bro, I don't do that. But I appreciate that. I appreciate you.
Well,
saying those
it's
things,
difficult. I know, bro. I know it's difficult to give yourself roses because I don't do it to myself. Francine tells me all the time. Big John tells me all the time. Like, you're not aware of even my coach. My coach even told me, like, you're not aware of like what you do. And I was like, no, I'm not, because I've dicked off so much of my life that this is an obligation to leave a mark of my name. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's unbelievable. What you've done is already like unbelievable, dude. To be like we were talking about a few days ago, to be 600 plus pounds.
It's a lot of work.
And then you lose 50 pounds, 100 pounds, and like most people are like, yes, that's what you're like. No, I was still 500 pounds. Like,
I was
damn,
still 500
bro.
pounds.
And you still kept going. Like, that's impressive. That's very impressive.
And to me, it was just had to be done, bro. Like, I lived such a selfish life. Like, being overweight is selfish. Being obese is selfish. You have family, you have friends, you have loved ones. It is a very selfish thing because you are not promised tomorrow. The only thing in life that we have when we are born, the only thing we're promised when we're born is death.
That's a fact.
That is the only thing that you are promised as soon as you come out your mom's womb is death. That's the only thing you're promised is death. And I wasted 27 years.
We're entitled,
Entitled to it.
You woke up, like I woke up going through, those crazy times when I was just out of control, and like you were out of control. Every day we woke up just like, God, I know God's gonna give me another day.
I'm here.
Fuck
I'm
it.
young. I'm dumb. I got it. You know
Bro,
what I mean?
it's to even
Wasted.
for me to, dude. It's fucking scary.
No,
because you can be gone like that.
Yeah, you know what brought to the realization of that is that I had I'm not gonna bring up his Instagram. Had someone on social media that was about to join my program, and a couple weeks before he was going to start my program, I was gonna do it for free. His financials were not good, but he's already lost like 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think he started like around 600 pounds, also at 550, something like that. He passed away. He lost 50 pounds already. He was working his butt off, posting it every single day, and I seen him post, and I got a DM from his Instagram. It was that he had passed away, and that was the scariest. I went on stories. I was teary eyed. I didn't bring up his Instagram. It's not my point. I'm not here to get more views and get people to join my program now because look at this person passed away. I just talked about it. Is that it doesn't matter when we start. We're still not promised tomorrow. Mm-mm. So why wait another freaking week? And I really mean that. I'm like, don't sign up on my program. Don't work with me. Work with anybody. Just go to the gym yourself, but just do something because we are only promised death.
And that also, like, I want to take that even a step further. You in your situation with people you work with is take life serious because you could die tomorrow. So get healthier. And someone who's in big in the finance world would say, like you want to make sure your family's good. Like take that step to get your finances on track. You might be gone tomorrow. It all works the same. It's you. No matter what, any one of us can be gone tomorrow, regardless of how healthy or broke we are. But the point is to be a better version of ourselves, the best version of ourselves as we can when we do leave this earth.
100%.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That's because people are like, oh, cigarettes are gonna kill you. Oh, I'm gonna die anyway. Yeah, but bro,
why speed up that?
That's what I'm
average
saying.
person is living 60 years now, 65 years. That means we're already halfway to death.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, if you're looking at it, we're already halfway.
Yeah, in theory, yeah.
You know what I mean? In theory. Hopefully, I go 75. No, nothing past 75. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, all those years were.
I've always felt that I wouldn't live long. Like, I wouldn't be an old person.
Well, with that upbringing, I can see where that headspace at, but now
everybody was dying, yeah.
You're losing everyone. And I lost the closest people. I'm close to my whole family, so so I'm not done going through this. I'm not done going through. I am close with my mom. I'm close with my dad. I still have my grandmas here. I have both of my grandmas. They're not going to be here one day. I'm close with my uncles. Every single one of my uncles I'm close with. Every single one of my aunts I'm close with. I am not done dealing with this.
Oh, no, bro.
You know what I mean? And that's what really sucks is I'm not done. But at the end of the day, I know that it's something I have to accept, and I've learned to cherish the memories I have now.
Yeah, make it as good as you can.
Make it as good as I can, right? That's why I don't like arguing with people. You would hate to argue with me. Honestly, you would. You know why? Because if we got off the phone mad at each other, I'm gonna call you 5 minutes later. But you good now? Because I don't want that.
I'll probably be like, yeah, bro, it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Whatever. Let's go have lunch. You know what I mean? Whatever. But you know what I'm saying? I've learned to cherish my life. Everything I do, it's just so I could have one more minute here, one more day here, one more hour here. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't promised that before. I had a headache. I thought I was gonna die. Have chest pains. I'm having a heart attack. Mm-hmm. I lived a life of already being scared to death, but yet I was doing every single thing to push me into an early grave.
Yeah, and that's something that I in retrospect I wish I kind of would have touched on more. But we sometimes when we personally develop, we become proud of ourselves, and once we're in it for a few years, we see what other people do, and it's really easy to cast to judge them, mm-hmm. and tell yourself why you're so much more higher quality of a person than they are. While it is true, it can be true, we need to talk about, dude, how hard it is to pull your head out of your ass, dude.
Oh my god.
It is so hard
to
get yourself on track and to stay on track.
The old Anthony Lopez was way more of a badass. Andy told me that. It made sense because that Anthony Lopez was 600 plus pounds going to the gym. Mm-hmm. Was 599 pounds. Was 550 pounds. was 400 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was the badass. For this Anthony Lopez 265 and complains on about everything. I mean, like, I'll never be as badass as that old version of Anthony Lopez.
Well, not in that way, but you can be a badass in a different
Well,
way.
yeah, but he got himself out of his suicidal thoughts. He got himself out of depression. You know what I mean? He was 500, 600 pounds, taking care of his grandpa every single day, getting 4 hours of sleep. You know what I mean? Like, that version of myself was a badass, but it took me to go through that in order to realize who I am and what my why is and why I'm really put on this planet.
How many times did you say I'm making a change, and then how many times did you fail at that?
Oh, 1,000 times.
Same.
Over 1,000. I've probably lost like over like in my lifetime. I probably lost like over 500, like probably 1,000 pounds. Now with this weight loss journey, adding with everything else, I probably lost 1,000 pounds.
Just all the fluctuation.
All the fluctuation. 200 pounds lost, 100 pounds, 300 pounds.
That's
gained.
crazy to look at it like that.
I've lost like over 1,000 pounds in my lifetime. I've literally lost over 1,000 pounds in my lifetime. If I go back to my MySpace and look at the fluctuation of like when I would talk about I'm gonna lose weight and blah 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 and the stuff I told my head and when I crash diets, whatever it might be, I probably lost over 1,000 pounds in my life. I've always wanted this body. I didn't want this skin, but I've always wanted this body, bro. Like I've always wanted this body. Like the fact that I have muscles right now, bro, is like I feel like I'm in high school right now. Like I have that I'm like that high school kid right now. Like I have the body that
You're
I want.
experiencing something you never.
I went to a pool. I would.
You're
never,
literally experiencing a dream.
I'm experiencing what life should have been and what should be for everybody. You know what I mean? Like I'm experiencing it's a normal life, but it's not. It wasn't my normal life. You know what I mean? Like I went to my pool party and I had a stringer on. You know what I mean? And I felt comfortable. And you know, pool parties in Vegas, bro, they have like the best of the best people, bro. I'm like, where do these people live? Like, where do they hide on the weekdays? Because like they all look like models. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't feel uncomfortable, right? And then I'm looking down to like, I'm looking at all these. Not looking down. I'm looking. It looks sound bad. I'm looking at like all these people that are overweight. I'm like, you guys are badasses. You guys don't care. Like you guys are not insecure. I would never be at a pool party, even with the shirt on.
Really?
Oh no, dude! I was so insecure. Like I felt like, don't look at me. I put up a mask. I put up a fake persona that I was like, I don't care that I'm
fake
fat.
Confidence, fake
confidence,
yeah.
bro.
A lot of people do
and
that.
I'm looking around like these big guys in the pool. I'm like, bro, I just want to go shake their hand. Like I would never. And it's not a bad thing. Like you have more confidence in me. You're more of a badass. You know what I mean? Because like I would never do that, bro. I would never go to a pool party in Vegas.
Well, here we are.
No, now I got a stringer on.
Right,
now I got Francie calls him a chest thong.
Here we are,
yeah,
baby.
here we are, baby. Francie calls him a chest thong, but yeah, man, it's just like it's just living life the way it should be lived if we're willing to sacrifice and change the bad habits we created.
Yeah, like Ed Milet was saying, with his dad.
That shit made me cry.
One more day. And I think
that story messed me up.
I almost cried.
I
bro.
cried. No, I was crying. Like my glasses right here.
I could hear people sniffling around.
I was crying. That was one. I was a sniffler.
A lot of people were crying.
Yeah, that got me good.
And I think that's because whenever we think like, imagine if you are broke. Imagine you're broke, and one day you want to have $1 million in your bank account, which really these days isn't anything like extremely crazy. So you are gonna think like, oh, $1 million. But dude, just think about the good decisions that you need to make consistently that will put you there, and just say, I'm just gonna do this one more day.
One more day.
Okay, that day's over with.
How
do I feel? Okay, listen, this is what I need to do tomorrow. I need to do this one more day. And he said that turned into one more day turned into 35 years.
Yeah. And he helped other people in time. Like,
yeah.
And it's the powerful, mindset's everything, bro.
Yeah.
Mindset is everything. And that is why.
Well, mentality and perspective.
Yes. And that is why I do my you got to sit in on one of my group Zoom calls. I do weekly Zoom calls with my clients every single week, because mindset is everything, bro. It's so easy to give up on yourself because we gave up so many times. It's just become normal to let ourselves down. But imagine if we push past that 10th day, right? We normally quit on the 10th day. Imagine we go to the 11th day.
Yeah.
Then imagine if you go to the 12th day.
It's like reps when you work out, bro.
Exactly. You go to 11, then you fail a little bit, and the next time you go to 12, and then you fail a little bit, the next time you go to 13.
Yeah.
That's what I tell all my clients. Like, it's okay. You're going to be in this program. You're going to crush it the first 2-3 weeks, right? Honeymoon stage. My goal is to start you at, say you start at 400, and then you crush it, and then you go to 399. And then you crush it, and then you at and then you go to 395. And you mess up a little bit, but your highest is 395, but you get down to 330. Do you get, or you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you're gonna fail, but your fail never goes back to 400.
Right.
Right. Your fail goes back to 95, to 90, to 85. So yes, you're gonna fall. You're gonna get back up, but your mess up's not gonna take you back to 400 because you're gonna catch yourself and you're gonna correct it.
It's like people call it like the climb, and it's like a mountain. Like if you look at a mountain and you look at the side view, it's like it's not
like
smooth. It's like
No.
it's all rigid.
No.
It's all rigid.
There is
going
no
on, you know what I
such thing
mean?
as easy. There's no easy trail.
Like,
There's no easy trail in life, and you're not going to be able to take easy trail.
And we have to accept that, bro. Like I think that's a big thing with people. Specifically younger people. Like I'm talking like teenagers and people
Fall
in
in
their
love with
early
pain.
20s. Like, bro, we have to accept. We have to accept that this is, if you want to live this great life that you daydream of, we have to accept there is no easy way to truly get there and stay there. It is never easy. You are going to fight. You are always going to fucking fight. And you know what? You're going to fight when shit's bad too. So which fight do you want to fucking fight?
I'd rather fight this fight that I'm fighting now than trying to get out of bed every single morning.
No fucking, no question,
Going
bro.
and driving Uber, you know what I mean, and not making the right decisions and letting my bad decisions take over my life and feeling so sorry for myself and hard to wipe my fucking ass. I couldn't fucking do that before, dude.
It's crazy.
I couldn't do that before. Are you kidding me? I couldn't do that before. I couldn't even see my dick. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, like that shit's hard. That's a hard life to live. You know what I mean? I don't want to live that. I'd rather live the hard life here where I'm stressing over, am I doing enough for myself and my brand? Am I really building an empire for myself? Is this going to be livable income for myself and my family and my kids? That's the hard lifestyle I want to live. That's the, am I really giving value? Can I be giving more value? Can I be doing more? That's the hard I want to live, not the hard where I fucking have to stand up to wipe my own fucking ass.
Right.
Or can't sit on certain chairs.
100%. And that, dude, I mean, that would have that would have became even more harder. You know what I mean? People would have been taking care of you. Like somebody would have had to take time.
I wouldn't be here. Dude, COVID, over 600 pounds.
Oh, you wouldn't have made that.
I would have made it. I would have made it, man. You know what I mean?
That's nuts.
And and it all falls in to bad decisions, bad decisions, and mindset. I mean, you on paper should not be sitting here. We said that before. Now you're at first form. You just got a raise. That means you're working your ass off. They're noticing you. They see you. You know what I mean? And now you're starting a brand, a business that's going to be helping the youth. That I definitely can't wait for you to drop that so I can get you back on the podcast and we can see how successful you're doing, because you're going to